Hey there, happy Sunday. Welcome back to yet another Karishma Connect episode, this time around with Shruti Kedia Daga, who's the co founder of Nasher Miles, which is a contemporary, digital first, extremely millennial friendly luggage brand that Shruti, Abhishek, and Lokesh have together started. Now, I asked her the first question that how did you start something in a field that is so dominated by different traditional brands? How did you take that first step and build this successful D2C brand? What is something that you can share from that journey? And she tells me more about it. It's extremely interesting and unique. So go check out the episode. And until the next one, stay tuned. This is Karishma Connect. I'll be back every week with fresh, new, interesting episodes. Until the next one, Tata. Thank you so much, Shruti, for joining me on this episode of Karishma Connect. It's a pleasure to host you, and I can't wait to get to know more about Nasher Miles and tell me if I'm pronouncing it right, because it's a rather unique name and
Yes.
it's a rather unique concept that I think you all are very courageous enough to even step into, because it's not a very common market to have explored.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Most welcome. Now, the first question that I ask on Karishma Connect is the thing that I believe is most special to anybody, and everybody says it best in their own words. Please tell me about your journey so far. How has it been? What makes it special to be where you are today? How did it all start? That moment. Take me right in.
Sure, Karishma. So I'll just give you a quick background and then jump right into the journey. And journeys always start at the beginning, right? So I'm Shruti. I'm from Bombay, born, brought up, studied coincidentally all year. I did my bachelor's in management from HR College, Bombay,
Okay.
then worked for a bit and then went on to do my MBA from SPJ in Mumbai. I specialized in marketing, and that's where I met my husband and co-founder now, Lokesh
Oh,
Daga.
lovely.
Post SPGen, I graduated, and we graduated in 2009, which was the recessionary year, so not the best time to be in the job market. But the journey from there was rather interesting. What I was able to do is I got a lot of different I got marketing experience across sectors. So I joined Prime Focus, which is a media company. There I got a B2B experience. Went on to join ICICI Bank credit cards product team. So there the experience was extremely B2C, which is what I was looking for. And then come 2014, Lokesh had joined Philips from campus, Philips Electronics India,
Okay.
and he through his 5 years at Philips, he held different roles. And in his last stint with Philips, he was heading online sales for them. So he essentially helped Philips India establish itself in the e-commerce space. So he was talking to the Amazons, Flipkarts. So this is 2013-14. That's when e-commerce is just about got into, has started making its presence felt in India. And we kind of sensed a great opportunity there. We knew everyone knows how big Amazon was in the US. And we felt it was a concept which would stick around. And we sensed an opportunity. So, Lokesh and I got together with one of our cousins and we started Nasher Miles. So in the early years, Karishma, we started off as online sellers. So we actually helped, say, Amazon set up a lot of their categories on the platform. So at one time, we were selling over 100 bags, 100 brands on these marketplaces.
Oh.
And yeah, so there was Ray-Ban and uh, Ray-Ban, lots of sunglasses brands, watches we were doing. We were doing electronics, Philips and whatnot. And then some years down the line, there came a time that selling online wasn't so profitable
Hmm.
while you were a distributor, because there were a lot of larger players in the market now, larger sellers, if I can say so, and with much deeper pockets, and they were able to work at much thinner margins, which wouldn't be sustainable for us.
Hmm.
So, like a lot of or sellers in general, we knew the time had come to start something of ourselves, like a private label.
Mm.
And we were obviously thinking for a while, and Lokesh, me, our cousin, all Abhishek, all three of us love traveling. And we noticed when you're standing at an airport conveyor belt, it's you see the struggle people are going through to identify their luggage, right? So
Mm.
you see black, blues, gray bags coming, a purple or a red somewhere in the midst, but there's a lot of peeping around to see whose name is on the tag and whatnot. And we were also at this time sellers for your Samsonite, American Tourister, VIP. So it is an oligopolistic market. It was and continues to be an oligopolistic market. So there was space to do something new.
Yeah.
And because the giants in the industry were so large and so relevant offline, online wasn't a play for them. It wasn't priority for them at all. So this was in 2017. I think our eureka moment was when my mom was on a solo trip.
Mm.
She came back with her black bag and she's trying to open it, and poor lady realizes it's not her suitcase.
Oh,
And it wasn't
fun.
her fault because they all genuinely look the same.
Yes.
So that's when we decided, Karishma, that luggage would be a great industry to operate in. Like I said, it was oligopolistic. The market leaders were not focusing on the online industry. So the variety was limited offline. Online, the variety was even limited even further.
Mm.
Then come to tier two, tier three cities, which e-commerce does a great job in catering to.
Mm.
That those markets were had even less options when it came to luggage.
Yeah.
Now, 2017, people were traveling a lot more, right?
Yeah.
As kids, I don't remember, we used to take one holiday in maybe 2 or 4 years, right?
Yeah.
Today, Today we take a holiday or at least do a staycation or a weekend getaway every quarter, maybe, right?
Yeah.
And every journey kind of requires a different kind of suitcase. So your weekend trips require something smaller, your domestic trips require a medium bag, your international trips require a large bag.
Yes.
So, people are buying a lot more luggage. Kids want their own suitcases today.
Very true. Yeah.
Now in 2017 also social media was there to stay, right? So people wanted to look good. The outfit of the day was a concept, airport looks was a concept. So I think we played to that millennial and Gen Z mindset, where we said, you know what, we know you don't have too much choice when it comes to luggage and you love traveling, so let us help you look different, let us help you stand out.
Mm.
And we cater to the Gen Z and the millennials who shop online. So there is a bit of price sensitivity there.
Mm.
So we give you good quality at value prices. So
Mm.
that's how Nasher Miles came about, and that's how we started.
I think
And we started in 2017. Today, 2023, we are for sure the largest pure play D2C brand in the luggage space. And yeah, it's been extremely interesting, the entire journey, and we are here to stay.
you've scaled remarkably, I would say, in that span of years. When would you say was your breaking point, kind of, where you knew that, okay, this is going to work for the longer mile?
So we started in August of 2017, and uh, uh, the first years were extremely exciting. We were growing over 200, 300% year on year. Then COVID obviously came, and
Mm.
COVID hit the travel sector in how. So but we knew we were on the right path, right?
Mm.
We quickly pivoted into selling travel masks and luggage covers and whatnot to kind of play the protective story. But I think from the very beginning, Karishma, we knew we are here to stay, and we are on a path which is interesting. Thankfully, we got our product market fit right in
Mm.
the beginning. We started slow. And our business model allowed us to experiment, and we feel we got that product market fit right in the beginning. So right from the start, I think we knew we were here to stay really. And post COVID, thankfully, people started traveling with a new vengeance, and
Yeah.
things have only looked up. Yeah,
It's like everybody came out of their shell and just started off.
exactly.
But there are three things that stand out to me from your journey so far, and I will ask you your thoughts about these three. One is you mentioned you graduated at a time when we were going through a recession, which was similar to the time that today's Gen Zs and millennials are seeing, having graduated at a most of them having graduated at a time when the pandemic was on and they didn't have opportunities. One point is that. Two, the second point I've noticed from your journey is the emphasis on customer feedback and constantly listening to the market and kind of understanding the product that you are getting into before you have actually taken the action of setting it up. And then the third thing is the very fact of collaboration and coming together with diverse mindsets, be it your family, your cousins, or your husband, and all of that. Tell me something about these three aspects of your journey, starting from back in college. How did you navigate that time when you graduated in a scenario which was so tense?
I think I'd never wish those times on any student. It was extremely, extremely stressful, right? When you start um, doing your graduation from a prestigious university, we have big dreams, right?
Yeah.
But I think the entire process, the entire placement process and placement during a tough time really, really humbles you, right?
Mm.
It it I mean, I think it teaches you that it's okay to start, uh, that things don't go as per plan, that,
Mm.
it's okay to start in a certain way, but don't stop. I mean, everything is an experience ultimately, and maybe it's not what you envisioned, but yeah, change is the name of the game, and be in it. I mean, don't shirk away from experiences. I think that's something that teaches you to be resilient, to be flexible. And I feel that's become part of our personality, and also as a brand
Yes.
ethos, something that Nasher Miles sticks to. I mean, I feel we are challengers to the incumbents in the market today. We are a challenger brand.
Mm.
We are resilient, brave, but still we like to be humble. And yeah, that answers your first bit, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Your second was working with diverse groups of people. And
Consumer feedback. Yes.
so I think that's the beauty of being in the D2C industry, Karishma. You're so much closer to the customer.
Mm.
It's easy for customers to share their feedback with you.
Mm.
And they are buying from you, which is a privilege for us, really. But they're also buying because the experience is that much seamless.
Yeah.
If we are here to give them convenience, we are here to give them choice, and convenience choice comes with customer service, right? If you don't like something, we enable you to return it, and we work very closely with a set of influencers, with the influencer community also. So we feel we always have our ear to the ground. Our customer care team's great, and it's just a very transparent environment where feedback is free flowing right from our employees to customers. And that's how you can be. That's also the beauty of being an Indian brand, I feel, because you understand the Indian mindset. You can play to the likes and dislikes of the Indian consumer. So, and diversity is the name of the game in India anyway. So we love
Absolutely.
listening to customers. We always listening to them. So yeah, that's interesting, and that's insightful, and that teaches us and molds us and takes us forward every time, really.
And tell me about collaborating with some really different people around you, because I'll tell you where this question comes from. I've interviewed several founders on the show, and there have been co founders as well. And then they have told me about that navigating that equation is not always easy.
Yeah.
Especially, I've had husband wives together, I've had sisters, brothers talking to me about how they navigated their personal relationships in a professional curve. What do you have to
Yeah.
say about that? What's been your learning so far?
So, Karishma, I think we are three co-founders, Lokesh, Abhishek, and I. I feel we come with different skill sets and
Mm,
different things we are good at naturally.
mm,
So, Lokesh, my husband, is great at selling. He can sell spectacles to someone who can't see, maybe. He just great at selling, and it comes to him very intuitively, buying
yeah,
and selling. So that's what he looks after. My cousin Abhishek, he's extremely good at operations and the detailing that's required in operations. And I think I have a natural knack for marketing and branding, and I design. So when I look at something, uh, uh, I know it look good or not look good, and hopefully it works. So I feel that respect for each other's skill set is what keeps this thing going. And I feel obviously we have our differences of opinions, and on most days we don't bring it back home because we know what's happening in the office is for the betterment of the organization, right? For
yeah,
the brand. It's nothing personal. It's only because we want a brand to do better.
yeah.
I feel that, and mostly respect, like utmost respect for each other as individuals. And thankfully, we genuinely like spending time with each other. So, yeah, that keeps it going. Obviously, there are ups and downs, and there are tough days, and there are days when I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. But
Yeah,
yeah, you love what you do, you stick to it, and you genuinely like each other as people. That's what keeps us going.
that's a wonderful thought right there. Tell me, how do you think preferences about luggages have changed over the years? What have you seen in the market?
Karishma, how many bags did your parents have and how long did they use it for?
Well, if I were to count a couple of years back, they had a select few, and that would go on end, like for a year, for
Exactly.
endless number of years. We still have them.
Ex- they must be used for storage now, I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
yeah,
So the deal is like our parents obviously came with the mindset कि एक पेटी होनी चाहिए वो जिंदगी भर चलेगी बहुत ही तंदुरुस्त और स्ट्रांग रहेगी भारी होना चाहिए
yeah.
but that was when rail travel was so common, road travel was so common. Now most of us prefer taking flights to destinations
Yeah.
if it's a distance. And I feel that air travel has completely changed how luggage is treated, right? Because you're taking more trips,
Mm,
our luggage is not handled well,
mm,
and I think consumerism somewhere is inbuilt in all of us. We like new things and we like shopping, and we are little. We are okay discarding our luggage every 4 to 5 years. It's okay.
yes.
I mean, it's been scratched and mistreated by the airport authorities, but those are all signs of a well-traveled life, right?
Yeah.
So I feel how the big change is that now we all own multiple sets of bags for different kinds of travel. And we are okay changing it every few years because we just like new shiny things. And yeah, I feel that's the biggest change that's come.
And people are also kind of, I think, assigning specific budgets for these things, you know. People are kind of dedicating the I mean, they're more flexible about, okay, I will spend on something like that than my parents' generation or your parents' generation or vice versa was.
Absolutely, Karishma. And the deal is that, because D2C, the beauty is that it gives you so much more choice, right? I can maybe that like today, Karishma, we are selling a set of 3 luggage,
Mm.
good quality. We give lifetime warranty on the shell. The shell doesn't crack.
Mm.
We sell it from anywhere from 9999 to 12999. So it's not like burning a hole in, the urban dweller's pocket, really.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks good. It'll make you stand out. And I think it's and budgeting is also not a issue because we are genuinely giving you good quality
True.
at value prices.
True, true. And then tell me, Shruti, operating in today's D2C market, because today's D2C market is very different from what it was a couple of years back, right? There's so many channels involved. Like you mentioned, two of the most significant ones would be offline and online, but even there, if you get into the specifics of it, there's so many sub channels that have emerged. What do you think are the three things that anybody starting out in a D2C space needs to know about navigating today's market for the future?
I think one thing is Karishma, D2C looks easier on paper than it is in real life, right?
Very true.
And there's so many nitty-gritties to it, right? From the way the accounting and the billing and the remittances are done. So I feel one kind of assumes it's going to be really easy,
Mm.
but it isn't because it's fairly complex. And we feel we got a head start there because we started off as online sellers. So we understood this ecosystem really well. We
Mm.
knew what it takes to sell on these platforms, and we played to that strength, right?
Mm. Mm.
So one thing is be if for someone looking to launch your product online, be very very of the smaller bolte na meetha kharcha,
हाँ.
or those things that kind of because it's not as easy as it looks. It's fairly complex.
Yeah.
Then I feel what we've played to our strength is, like I mentioned earlier, we luckily got our product market fit really well,
Mm.
right? So we started with Nasher Miles, which is still our flagship brand, and
Mm.
that's a mass premium brand. Then over the years, we realized that the entry level market is a
Mm.
very, very big market online for the value seekers. So we launched another brand called Stony Brook, which is for the for the more value seeking customer.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so the second point would be to be very clear of your product market fit.
Mm.
And I think the third thing, which D2C lets you do very beautifully, is to be agile,
Mm.
right? Like, see, COVID hit the travel segment how, but we quickly pivoted into doing different products during those few years, and that kept us going. And D2C also lets you test your products very well, right? You
Yeah.
call for us, you experiment with smaller lots, for instance. You see what the feedback is. So agility is obviously great.
That's one of the most beautiful points that you mentioned, because I think that's wonderful. Tell me, what are some of the things that people, from a consumer perspective, what are some of the things that people should keep in mind when they are looking to buy a luggage in today's times?
Sure. So I think one important thing is to understand what kind of trips will you be doing. So suppose if you are someone who does more international trips, you need large bags because they allow you to carry up to 23 to 30 kgs. So
Yeah.
the large bag is what you need, and your trips abroad tend to be longer anyway. So you'll need more space, more clothes. For
Mm.
domestic trips, if you're someone who tends to do more domestic trips, then your 15 kg limit kicks in. So you'll need a medium bag. And obviously, if you're a business traveler
Mm.
who does very short trips, then there's a different kind of requirement. Well, you need the overnight bags.
Mm.
Then, if you are someone who prefers traveling by train or tends to travel by train more often, maybe a hard case suitcase doesn't work because it'll tend to get very scratched when you're putting it under the seat and pulling it out. So maybe a soft bag works to your advantage.
Mm.
Another thing is if you travel more to US versus Europe. So in Europe, the rooms are very small, right? So
Yeah.
hard luggage requires you to open it completely, and Europe might not give you that flexibility. So you might take a soft top that opens only on the front, on the top.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another thing, we most urban houses aren't large enough to really stock multiple suitcases. So that's why we prefer. It makes sense to buy in sets where your small gets nested in the medium, gets nested in the large. So storage becomes easy,
Mm, mm, mm.
right? So we feel these are some important considerations when it comes to buying luggage.
That's very interesting. I doubt anybody would have thought about the Europe
Yeah,
one that you mentioned.
yeah.
But that's really helpful. Tell me, where do you aim to go with the brand in future? What's next for you?
So, Karishma, we are very close to hitting the 100 crore mark for our brand, Nasher Miles. That's the path we are on, and uh, very actively working on it. We are also looking to raise money. We've been bootstrapped and we've been profitable so far. Now we've reached 100 crores ourselves, and to reach the next 200, 500,000 crores, we need a partner, strategic partners. So we are in the market for investors currently.
Okay.
And yeah, for a strategic investor, we are doing our roadshows. So that's extremely interesting. And we know we'll get the right people, right partners, and then the world's our oyster, honestly. Offline is going to be a big part of how we play out in the future. Online, we've tested it, but offline is such a massive market today. That's where most of India's demand is. So we are very excited to try that out. We are also launching a brand for kids, Karishma. It's
Okay.
called Tic Tac Toe,
Oh,
and that's going to be in the market very soon too. So lots happening, and hopefully things pan out well.
that's what my next question was going to be, that what's that one product you think people need to look out for on the website? You've answered the one that's coming up, but is there any other
Yeah,
you'd like to mention?
we keep doing new things, Karishma. We love colors, we love design. We have Rishabh Pant as our brand ambassador who kind of vocalizes our brand ethics. So lots of new collections coming up. We are going quite crazy when it comes to color and design. So keep an eye out on the website, on our social media pages. You'll see very, very interesting stuff happening.
Lovely. And then my last question to you, Shruti, just because you mentioned that you're in that phase where you're looking for investors, and I've had businesses who have either gone through evaluation, got the funding, reached that point, or I've had businesses who are still in the nascent. I've rarely had a business that is in that middle ground. Tell
Oh,
me something
nice.
about that middle ground before you leave me. How's it feeling like? What's the
You know,
moment?
Karishma, we know we have a solid story. We
Hmm.
have a brand which is the largest D2C luggage brand today.
Hmm.
We customers love us, customers love our bags. And we are a bootstrap, profitable D2C brand. I don't know how many brands can say that. We've been profitable from day one. And that's what investors are looking for today, right? People are not going, and as a brand we've never gone down the valuation path. We've not chased a valuation, we've
Hmm.
chased quality, we've chased profitability, and we've done that not at the cost of growth. We've been growing very handsomely and we've done that profitably. So we like having that sensible head on our shoulders, and it's the conversations with investors is interesting, right? Because you bring that to the table and you're saying that I will continue to do that in the future too. So it's not like I'm waiting to take some money and go crazy marketing. I'm going to continue to use your money sensibly, and I want a partner to help me navigate that journey
Very true.
going forward. So very interesting conversations, honestly, Karishma, and I'm sure something good will come out of it.
That's lovely. More power to you. And I hope I see that headline very soon that you've got what you wanted. And well, I'm surely going to share the episode then saying, hey, you know what? We just interviewed them. But
That'll be
yes.
great, Karishma.
Thank you, Shruti. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did, and I'm sure the listeners will. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Karishma. I did have a great time. You have a good weekend, and thank you so much for the opportunity.